Welcome to Queens Behaving Badly. To support our channel, please comment, like, and subscribe. On October 16th, 1793, the bustling streets of Paris fell silent as Marie Antoinette, Queen of France, ascended the scaffold. Her fate, delivered by the chilling blade of the guillotine, mirrored that of her husband, King Louis XVI, who had met the same grim end months earlier. To many in France, she was not a queen, but a symbol of their suffering. A woman who, amidst widespread poverty, flaunted an opulent lifestyle. Yet, beyond the public spectacle of her death, lies a macabre curiosity. What became of her head after the swift descent of the blade? Marie Antoinette's fall from grace was precipitous. Once the vibrant Austrian princess who embraced the lavish frivolity of the French royal court, she spent her final weeks confined within the grim walls of the Conciergerie, a prison aptly nicknamed the antechamber to the guillotine. 4 years after arriving in France and becoming queen, her spirited nature clashed with her husband's more reserved tastes, leading her to immerse herself in court life, gambling, incessant partying, and acquiring extravagant gifts. This insatiable appetite for luxury earned her the moniker Madame Déficit. Despite a reported compassionate side, she famously adopted several poor children. Marie Antoinette became the ultimate scapegoat for a nation teetering on the brink of collapse. The infamous diamond necklace affair further cemented her public image as a greedy, uncaring monarch. Though she was a victim of a sophisticated con by a countess who tricked a cardinal into purchasing a hugely expensive necklace on her behalf. The public widely believed Marie Antoinette had attempted to seize the jewels without payment, shattering her already fragile reputation. The stage was set for revolution. As the French people rose up, storming the Bastille and rioting over the price of bread, their anger surged towards Versailles. The royal couple were not officially arrested until June 1791, when their attempt to flee to the Austrian-controlled Netherlands was thwarted. Confined in the Temple prison, they witnessed France declare itself a republic, bringing an abrupt end to a monarchy that had reigned for nearly a millennium. In January 1793, King Louis XVI was sentenced to death for treason against the state and the French people. He was granted a brief, poignant farewell with his family before his execution, before a vast Parisian crowd. Following her husband's death, Marie Antoinette remained imprisoned, eventually transferred to the Conciergerie. By now, at 38 years old, her hair had turned white, and her once radiant skin was pale. She faced a relentless 20-hour trial, spread over 2 days, during which she endured shocking accusations, including incest charges she vehemently denied, though they sent ripples of horror through the courtroom. Despite her graceful demeanour, her composure could not save her from the executioner's block. In the early hours of October 16th, she was found guilty of high treason, depletion of the national treasury, and conspiracy against the security of the state. Shortly before her execution at the Place de la Révolution, most of her white hair was roughly shorn. At 12:15 p.m., she walked onto the scaffold to face Charles-Henri Sanson, the executioner who, mere months before, had claimed her husband's life. Sanson, masked in black, likely never imagined he would execute the Queen of France, his former sovereign. Dressed in a simple white gown, Marie Antoinette's final whispered words were an apology. "Pardon me, sir, I did not mean to," after accidentally stepping on Sanson's foot. In an instant, Sanson strapped her to the wooden board, slid her under the blade, and released it. Her head was severed in a single swift blow. Sanson then lifted her severed head, proclaiming, "Vive la République! Long live the Republic!" Marie Antoinette's remains were transported approximately half a mile north to a graveyard behind the Church of the Madeleine. In a peculiar twist of fate, the gravediggers, exhausted from burying countless guillotine victims, were on a lunch break. This momentary lapse allowed Madame Tussaud, then a young artist known for her wax figures, to sneak in and take a plaster death mask and cast of the Queen's head. Following this macabre interlude, Marie Antoinette's body was unceremoniously thrown into an unmarked grave. This particular cemetery would be filled to capacity with other enemies of the revolution in the following year. It's believed her head was also cast into this same unmarked pit. However, on January 21st, 1815, Marie Antoinette's body was exhumed. Her royal remains were then given a proper Christian burial in the necropolis of French kings at the Basilica of Saint-Denis. Yet it is through Madame Tussaud's death mask that Marie Antoinette was, in a sense, brought back to life. The plaster cast allowed Tussaud to create a model of the Queen's head, depicting her with short hair, eyes closed, lips pursed, and with visible marks on her face. This chilling artifact remains the closest we have to a true visual representation of the Queen of France's head after her execution. Marie Antoinette became, for many, the ultimate symbol of the old regime's failures and the monarchy's detachment from its people. She was the scapegoat for a royal family perceived as plunging the nation into deeper financial ruin, a woman whose taste for fine things and lavish renovations of palaces, filled with Europe's finest furnishings, represented the stark inequality that fueled the revolution. Like thousands of others, including her own husband, she brutally lost her head to the guillotine during the French Revolution. Those who witnessed her execution would forever carry the indelible image of the French queen losing her head.